Brian Devins here. Today I'm going to show you how to change and replace brake pads and rotors on your vehicle. First things first, we're going to go over the tools needed to remove and replace brake pads. Floor jack, jack stand, brake cleaner. You have your brake lubricant you can pick up at pretty much any auto parts store for about $1.50. You have a 3/8 inch ratchet with a 3/8 inch Allen key socket on it. Impact gun for the wheel lug nuts. Also, if you do not have an impact gun, unfortunately you'll have to use a lug wrench. Alright, so the first thing we're going to have to do is jack up the truck so we'll be able to take the tire off. First things, if you are using a lug wrench, you're going to need to bust the nuts loose before you jack the vehicle up. That way the tire's not spinning while you're up in the air. If you're using the impact, you could break them loose if wanted, but you really don't have to. You could just zap them right off there as soon as the vehicle's up. What you want to do is you should look in the owner's manual of your vehicle, whichever you have, and see where your lift points are on your vehicle. You always want to lift from the frame and not on no parts to cause damage or anything like that. And once you do find your lift point, you want to set up your jack stand as shown right here, just for a little extra precaution and safety. You don't want nothing falling on you. Weirder stuff's happening in the world. You're going to take off your lug nuts, simple and easy, just as this. As soon as you got the last one off, you want to keep them all in a place where you know where they're going to be nice and safe, so you ain't losing them. You ain't got to spend the $2 or $3, $4, however much it is, spend it all on a lug nut. Next step, you're just going to take that tire off. Comes off there pretty nice. That is going to expose your brake master caliper and your rotor. As we can see here on this vehicle, it's really dirty, so we're going to have to clean it up with the brake cleaner, get everything nice and ready to go. Now that I got the tire off, next step, I'm going to take the main caliper off right here on the front. It's secured on there by 2 bolts, one here, one here. We're going to use the 3/8 ratchet with the Allen key socket on it. Work. Here's one of them. Need one more right down here. Now that we have them both off, we can remove the caliper. It's going to come off pretty easy. Then your brake caliper. Right here is going to be your brake shoes, which are just going to pop right out of there. Here's one of them. Here's number 2. And from here, we can just let this caliper hang right here, where it's not putting no pressure on the brake line or nothing. It's going to be just fine right there. From that step now, we can move on to removing the caliper. Well, the rotor, my bad. Sorry about that. You can move to the rotor. Simply just pops right off there. You know, pretty simple, right? Now that that's all disassembled, what we're going to do is we're going to just use some good old brake cleaner. Just ripping that master caliper around your hub assembly and everything, and just make sure everything's clean, so when we do put grease on it and everything, it's going to be good to go, and it's all going to stick. You're not going to have no squeaking sounds or nothing when you step on your brakes. So it's pretty self-explanatory. Get a rag, just wipe up all that nastiness on it. Now that we have everything cleaned up, we're going to move on to reinstallation of your rotor, brake pads, and then attaching your caliper and everything. First thing you want to do is, when you do go out and buy new rotors and brake pads and everything, you do want to get a good quality product. That way you're going to be able to stop when you need to stop. It's going to help you with build up of brake dust and a lot of other stuff. Just get what you pay for in brakes, definitely. First thing we're going to do is we're going to reinstall the rotor. It just fits right back on there pretty easy. I like to take a lug nut, put it on there, tighten it down on there pretty snug. Just keep the rotor from really moving and binding on you when you're trying to reinstall your brake caliper. Next thing you want to do is that brake lubricant I told you could get. You're going to want any like pins or anything on your brake pads, any shills that come with it, anything really metal that's going to have metal contact. You'll want to put a little bit of grease on there just so it doesn't squeak or squeal or nothing when you hit your brakes. Also, don't be the dummy that puts the lubricant on your brake pads. Just don't do that. This one with the pin is going to go in first. It's going to go on to right in there. It's going to click right in that. It's going to set right on this edge. It's just like a bracket. I mean, you see it, you'll know exactly how it goes on. Next one, same way. It's going to have two little latches. It just latches right up on in there from this point on. You don't really have to finesse this caliper to get on that rotor, but it helps having that lug nut on it. Like I said, it's all secure. But once you get that back on there with your brake pads and everything assembled, it should slide right in there. Remember the two bolts we removed earlier? You're going to want to, if you have it, put a little thread lock on your threads, just so no vibration, nothing starts rattling it loose. Get started just by hand. Take your bottom one, back through there. Go. You're just going to tighten them down real good. Once this one feels a little snug, go to the bottom, snug that one up, and then you can tighten them down to whatever torque spec you need them tightened to. Good tight on that one. And as well, on top of this one, it's nice and good and tight now. And it's simple as that. You know, you just replace your brake pads and your rotor. You know, the last step, take that lug nut off, throw that tire back on there, and bada bing, bada boom. Really helps when you can see. There we go. Now, just like you put them on, get a couple started. You definitely don't want to cross thread these or nothing. Then when you tighten these down, you do want to tighten them in the star pattern or torque pattern. You know, same things. And you want to also torque them down to the specifications for your model vehicle, which you can find in a repair manual, or pretty much Google it if you wanted. And you just tighten those back up and drop it down off the jack stands. Thanks for watching.